All right, let's now get some reaction, and we speak to Vuyo Mhaga, who's the Gauteng Premier Spokesperson, as we try to understand what happens now. Thank you so much, Mr. Mhaga, for your time. We just heard from the Department of Justice saying that they have to complete training before they are released to execute their duties. But we see them executing their duties already. So what's happening there?
No, thank you very much, Ms. Bongi, as well as your viewers. No, we have always said that the 3 months that has been really talked about was not necessarily the end, was the beginning. So what is basically happening, if I can just go through the process, currently they are under the supervision of the police, that they don't go anywhere without the police being involved as one aspect. But they continue to do the training, and I think I've just listened over what Imad has said. Part of the training that they are going to is about the firearm training. Some of the, actually majority of them have passed the firearm training. Others are going to specialized area around the land invasion and all that. So this is actually an add-on to the police force that is already there as a force multiplier. So really what we are interested in is to make sure that the police are there, there's a visibility, there's a sense of security among the residents of Gauteng. So this comes actually in a very, very good light on our part, that we are able, therefore, to move forward and to continue with their training, and some of them actually to execute that particular work. So we are quite delighted that finally the Minister of Justice has actually enacted this particular work. So,
in the beginning, we heard that there were going to be crime prevention wardens and they would be stationed at police stations. And then now we understand that they're getting the same status as traffic officers. I'm going to ask this question, but in two parts. I'm going to start with one which I'd like you to respond to. Was it not thought out carefully what they were going to do? Because 3 months or months on, after they are appointed and told what they are, then they are told what other status they are getting after some of the public spats that we have been seeing there. Was it a decision that was made in a hurry?
No, I don't think it was made in a hurry. And I think really what has been bedeviling people of Gauteng is an issue of crime. So if you go throughout in any savvy that or any institution that does research to say what is the major issue that is worrying people of Gauteng, so after the energy, crime will be the issue. So the issue was already taken by the Premier in October when he came to power to say that we need to do more, not only to have boots on the ground, have the necessary cars that we need, have the helicopters, have the CCTV cameras, including panic buttons. All of that currently, as I'm talking to you, is basically in place. Others are being rolled through.
So will they be able to use that, Vuyo, though? What you just told us now, that will they be able to use that now? Because they're getting the same status as traffic officers. But now if they have panic buttons, they've got... It sounds to me like that's a completely different conversation. Will they then be able to use all of that? Because now if they're going to the road as traffic, getting the same status, what does it all mean then?
No, it's being used, Sisbongi. It's actually the panic buttons is for me and you. If you go to any app store, you'll be able to download.
No, I mean for them. I mean for them. The procurement of the helicopters, etc., and all of that. We press panic buttons. Can they now come with the status that they have now?
Yes. How the Gauteng over a period of time have actually structured itself. They've actually used almost one type of a police setup under the leadership of General Mawel. So if you go to those Thursday meetings, what you call, there's a particular term that they normally use, is that they get deployed, all of them, which is the police, including the private security, so that the issues of security are not operated in isolation. They are actually operated as a one massive force multiplier as a response. So they will actually be able to execute it, including using the firearms, have the ability to arrest, because the traffic police can actually arrest because they are the law enforcement agencies.
So what do they do? What is their core function now? What do they do on a day-to-day basis now with this new status?
Correct. As I've said, Sisbong, is that major aspect of it is obviously they are the force multiplier. They'll now have to operate under the traffic officer as peace wardens. to really continue to do that execution. As I'm saying to you, how
what does it look
structured.
like? I understand the technicalities and what peace officers and all of that. Let's talk
Meaning,
about it.
what do you report?
Right now, I'm sitting here. Part of my job is to conduct interviews, is to conduct research and all of that. So on a daily basis, when they report for duty, what are they doing?
They're going to do actually the work of the traffic officers because that's what they are currently dealt with. But also they are the law enforcers. So they will be able to continue to operate the law enforcers. If you go to Johannesburg, the JPMD, they can still arrest you, not necessarily for you having damaged the issue of the traffic issues, but generally as law enforcers, they are able to do that work. So they will actually do that part of the work.
The reason I ask that is that I was looking online and a trainee traffic officer program runs over 3 years. They've not had that particular training. It's on-the-job training. Do they understand the legislation that comes with being on the roads and what it looks like? Do they understand what all of the execution of those officers' duties are? Because you may have liability issues there.
No, remember, Sisbogi, part of the people that were actually training them were actually traffic officers. And I think that's what we dealt with this particular issue at the beginning of it. When we were actually asked about who was training these chaps, traffic officers were there, the police were there. So they were part of the parcel of the people that basically being trained. But now what is the change is that they are currently under the traffic police rather than the police in particular. But if you actually look at the particular execution of the two institutions, as I've said, in the thing set up, they are actually in all the law enforcement agencies are coordinated by General Mawala himself.
So you're happy with their training?
No. As I'm saying, it's an ongoing training.
Okay.
There are specific issues that are troubling Gauteng. For example, as I've said, you've got land invasion. That is a major problem in Gauteng. They will be actually make sure that they respond to those particular issues because we've got parcel of land that we want to do something about it and people actually continue to invade them.
I'm out of time, but I have to ask you, Shiluva is taking you to court over this. Do you think that your decision was the correct one and the courts will rule in your favor?
I think it was a correct one. We continue to receive quite positive effects among the residents of Gauteng. The work that they've done, their visibility is actually being supported with very few isolation. And we are quite happy that there is a visibility, there's a sense of hope and there's a sense of security among the residents of Gauteng, and which for us is the most important aspect.
All right, Vuyo, let's then continue this conversation over the next couple of days as it continues to develop. But let me thank you for your time. That is Vuyo Mhaga, Gauteng Premier Spokesperson.